best way to stand out is remembering people's names. Well, hey, I'm Jennie Wallach here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I don't know if you are a bit like me, but I have the darndest time remembering names. This has always been a challenge, and I always try and do my best to remember names. And until recently, I hadn't really learned great tips or hacks in order to do just that. And now I have some things I'd love to share with you that I learned from Phil M. Jones. Yeah, I've been to his certification class and love to continue to learn and grow through exactly what to say trainings and classes. And the truth is that Phil is these small, intimate groups. Many times there's strangers in the room, and he wants to set the tone and remind us that it is a challenge to remember people's names, but it is so dang important and is in total alignment with the messaging of exactly what to say. So, the thing that he shares with us is that we're not remembering people's names because we're not listening. To be honest, this is obviously something that I've done in the past where I'm already deciding if I like them or thinking about what I'm going to say back instead of listening. Isn't this the case? Is that we are already telling ourselves a story about them or about the interaction that we're about to have. So, I want to share from my notes here because these are so important. So, the thing that Phil shares, there's three tips and ways that we can best remember people's names. First off is just association, right? So attach an image or a memory to that person. What is different or similar about them, about maybe somebody else who has that same name, and then also maybe what does their name sound like, or what story can you connect to that person's name. So that's first off just association. Now the second thing is repetition. Just saying their name over and over again when you're first meeting them. Now obviously not that it's weird, but just repeating their name and saying even your name twice. And so that they're also learning your name, because if they're like you, they probably also may have a struggle of remembering people's names as well. Now, the third one is impression. Now, this one is really great. So, what is it about them, their face, their person, that would never change? It's like a snapshot picture of their passport. So you would be able to identify them. It's not the clothes that they're wearing, although many times the ladies are always noticing the cute style of other gals. But this is something that would never change about them, because sometimes, our hair color may change or our outfits may change, but our face or our body, our persona will not change at all. So those are the three things that I started really working on to make sure that I'm doing my best to listen, and then associating or repeating, or then even having an impression of them and their name that gets solidified into my mind. Now, the thing that I also am not a fan of, and I know that it is important, is sometimes when you're in small or medium or even large group settings with unknowns or strangers or yet to be known new friends, icebreakers. Do you just clench up and cringe whenever people say, "Yay, we're gonna do an icebreaker to get to know each other"? Oh, I just dread them so much. Except for I learned of this great icebreaker. So this totally fits in with this conversation. So I thought I would share it with you. And it's called the name story. Now, this goes right back into what Phil taught us about people love saying their name, hearing their name, and really just talking about themselves. And so that is exactly what this icebreaker would do for you. So put this into your notebook so that when you are in an icebreaker situation, you could share this one. And it's a great way to utilize the hacks that I just shared. So how the name story works is that in the group, you could even set it up first yourself and just use yourself as an example. So this is called the name story. So all you're going to do is share your name and then the story behind your name. See, I found by using this many times that there's some really cool stories, or maybe there's not, and that's a funny story. Or there are stories that are told by people that they realize that maybe they don't know a story, then they can go back to their parents and family members and ask, hey, what is the story of my name? Which I think is pretty cool and just adds to some new conversations that they can have. But the name story would go like this: you say your name and the story of your name. So, for example, I am Jennie, just Jennie, Jennie. That's it. Not Jennifer, not Virginia, not Genevieve, not Jeannie, just Jennie. And of course, the story with my first name is that it was my great grandmother's name. She was also just Jennie. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm named after a family member, and it's a different name, although I was born in the 70s and grew up in the 80s where there's Jennifers everywhere. And of course, I have a song about me, but my name is spelled wrong. And you know what my phone number is, as all the kids in middle school knew as well. But the thing is that with my middle name, there's another fun story. So I'm Jennie Rebecca. So Jennie Rebecca also dates me and shows my age, is because if you look it up, Barbara Streisand had a song
Jennie
called Jennie Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Now, of course, that Jennie was spelled with a Y, and that's okay. But the fun part about the Jennie Rebecca is that I have met many other Jennie Rebeccas. And there are even Facebook groups, because this Jennie Rebecca was the theme song for the Gerber baby food commercials. I know, isn't this great? So now, if I told you that story, you'd probably at least remember my name is Jennie. Maybe you'd even remember my middle name, and maybe you would know that I'm definitely a Gen X and my mom loved Barbara Streisand. So there's so many fun stories inside of that. I want to hear your name story, or share this name story icebreaker whenever you get a chance, and let me know how it goes. Talk to you later.